Hi you guys, it's Buffy. Today I will show you how to make the rock paper scissors game. The current state is final state and when we finish the game it will look like this. I had previously explained the Turkish version and now I will be explaining it in English. As you can see on screen now, you will be able to play with a robot when a player isn't found. And we will indicate with team 1 with text like this. Now, let's get into our topic. First, we will define four main variables. These variables will execute the core loop of our game. First, we need variables to hold team selection. The first one is variable to hold team 1 selection. The second one is the variable to hold team 2 selection. The third one is so important and it's our variable to call void. This will calculate the selection of each player. That's one makes a selection, the other also make a selection, and when this selection based count becomes 2, the result will be calculated. As I said before, this is the most crucial element. And then, of course, finally our variable called winner, which will be used to calculate to who winner is. Try to set up this device as seen on screen now. The most important element here is that the adaptive team is single team, meaning only one team can see this device, or only team 2 can see this device. And one of the most important part of this device, we need to keep auto show off. An average of 10 seconds will be enough for each question. Set the selection as rock for selection 1, paper for 2, and scissors for 3. Now we will assign values to each the team selection. We assign the value 1 to rock, 2 to paper, and 3 to scissors. I named the values such as rock selected, paper selected, something like this, so as not to forget them and easily find the variables among the device later. Then I wrote 1 at the end of them. Those ones will represent the teams, so you can think of it as signifying that the team is 1 or team is 2. Now we using the variable management device. If team 1 selected rock, we will calculate the selection value as 1. If team 1 selected paper, we will calculate the value of variable called team 1 selection as 2. And finally, if a team 1 selects scissors, we will calculate the value of team 1 selection variable as 3. And now, we will repeat the same scenarios for team 2. The configuration of device should be as you see on screen now. Again, this time while calculating team 2 selection, just like we calculate for team 1, we will assign 1 for rock, 2 for paper, and 3 for scissors. Thus, when one of these 3 options select, we inform the game of which one was chosen with mathematical expression. One of the most important elements is our variable called void. Why? Because the game won't be played or we won't be able to calculate the winner if only one team makes a selection. Also, we don't want two objects in front of the team load immediately as soon as they make a selection, right? Therefore, we wait for both teams to have submit their answer. The way to calculate this is as follows, friends. After we make our expression as void equals void plus 1. When will this calculation take place? Of course, whenever each team select an option. And now, let's configure our conditional check device which controls whether both teams have made their selection, as seen on screen now. Whenever void performs a calculation, let this device perform a check. As soon as it becomes true, our game loop is about to begin. Now we know that both our teams have made their selection because the conditional check device told us the void already true. So our next step is calculate the winner. We will control this with the variable management device called winner calculator. If you remember, we also defined the variable called winner. This device will manage it. Our expression must be team 1 selection subtract from team 2 selection. This way the result will always be correct, friends. I'm sharing on the screen now. In a scenario where team 1 wins, the result is only 1 or -2. The most important thing we need to pay attention to here is that it should be or, not and. Friends, this is very important for us. In scenario where team 2 wins, the result is only -1 or +2. Now, from this point on, we can actually start visual programming. Before this, let's show a text that displays the winner from the user interface editor. Don't show the UI text as a default value because it might disturb the flow of the game. We need to show this text when the appropriate conditions are met. Here, our main event is device that calculates the winners if you remember. We will already know who won after the calculation. So we will immediately take the DC from the condition, and if our variable called winner is 1 or -2, then text team 1 won should be displayed on your screen. If it's -1 or +2, the text team 2 won should be displayed. And finally, if our winner value is equal to 0, it should say draw. Of course, our control visibility was initially off, so we will need to turn it on again. We can place this either before the condition or after the condition as shown on screen, friends. Of course, you can determine how long this text will remain on screen. I think 4 seconds is sufficient for us. Now we come to physical side of the game rather than the mechanic side. We need a grouped object device for our physical object to be loaded onto the table. In the line with the selection we have given, we should have pre-grouped rock, paper and scissors groups for both teams. I will show you them shortly. Apart from that, you can set which team to assign which group. As shown on the screen, rock for team 1, rock for team 2, paper for team 1, paper for team 2, and so on. And now, when will these objects be loaded? When our void control device meets the condition, that is, when both teams have used their turn, made their selection, I can also say. And we perform the action based on the value of the selection variable. Now remember, 1 represents rock, 2 paper, and 3 represent scissors. If void is already 2 and the selection variable is 1, rock. If void is 2 and the selection variable is 2, paper, will be loaded, and so on. After performing the same operation for both teams, it's the time for game loop to start. I replaced a timer called looper time. The activation method must absolutely be on round start. And the effective target selection must be players who trigger device, as seen on screen now. And the device closes when the device counter is completed. Our user interface should be open to all players and you can write any sentences you want as seen on the screen. What will happen after the counter is completed? First, our variable values will be reset. I will show the reset process shortly. Then the physical object rock, paper or scissors that appeared as the result of the team selection must be eliminated. That's sent back. And as you see now, the reset operation are here. In every game loop, that's when the timer is completed, what do we do, friends? We set all our variable values to 0. When is this timer device activated? When the winner is already calculated. Currently, our game can be played now by 2 real players. But how do we play against a robot if there are no players? First we need, at the start of the round, let's check the number of players. If the number of players is equal 1, then let's perform the subsequent operation. What are these? We need a device to take place of team 2. This is the random action device. Let's configure the upper number to be 3. And we must allow repeat values. This is the so important part of this game. Why 3? Because we have 3 options. Every time we make a selection, the random action device will work and generate a number. At the same time, what will be the use? We need the void variable to be 2 for the winner be calculated and for all objects to be loaded, you remember. Even if this device generates a random 1, 2 or 3, it will perform the void calculation. But when it generates 1, it will have selected rock, when 2, paper, and when 3, scissors. Now we can play our game against both a robot and simultaneously player. I hope I was able to explain it. Goodbye. See you later, friends.